Hey guys, this is going to be another quick Linux command video. Check the link in the description for more info and for copy and paste examples. Hey guys, today we're going to learn about the Linux traceroute command. The Linux traceroute command is used to trace the path packets take from your system to a destination network host. It's helpful for diagnosing routing issues and understanding network latency. So basically it's going to identify each hop on the path to a destination. So let's give this a try. Traceroute. We're going to traceroute to Google, and you see that ran pretty quick, and it shows you each hop on the way to Google. So I run the traceroute command and one parameter Google, and notice I did not need root privileges to do this. No sudo or anything. Now, first thing it does is it shows you this is the first hop gateway. That's inside my home. Here's the second hop gateway, also inside my home. This is the first one that belongs to the ISP, Verizon, and it takes each hop all the way there. And when you see this shows that it did not get any response from this router. So the way it does this, normally when you send a packet to your destination, it'll just go to the destination and get returned back. You don't see all the hops in between. So what it does is it will send, for each of these hops, it will send one probe packet to identify each hop. Now this probe packet, if you want to identify this first hop, you'll send one with a TTL value or time to live value of 1. Now the TTL value is how many hops a packet will live for. If it exceeds those hops, it will send back basically an ICMP error message, and it is basically in any case, the message, so we send a TTL value of 1, it hits this first gateway, says, hey, we exceeded the number of hops we're allowed, so it sends back this ICMP message and helps us identify this first gateway. Then our next set of packets, we send them with a TTL of 2. That's enough to survive up to the second gateway right here, and then it will send back an ICMP message saying, hey, we can't go any further, ran out of hops, and that helps us identify the second gateway. And then the same thing, TTL value of 3 for this third hop router, and it sends back the ICMP message saying, hey, this is as far as we could get, and so on and so forth until you've finally reached your destination or until you reach a timeout. Now, the message it will send you is an ICMP time exceeded in transit. Now, when we're doing this, notice I did not need root privileges. What we're doing here is we are sending a UDP packet. So UDP probes to each of these, and basically for each hop, we send 3 packets. So it sends 1 and it tells us how long it took, then 2, and then 3. So for this hop, it sends out 3 packets and it tells us how long each one took. The next hop, it sends out 3 packets, 1, 2, 3, tells us how long. So each of these, it's going to be a little bit longer. And for each of them, it sent 3 packets. So you'll see how long basically you can take like the average or whatever, but it sends 3 probes per hop. Now it's sending UDP probe packets to each of these hops, but it gets an ICMP packet sent back to it. That's an ICMP time exceeded in transit message. So that's all fine and great, but if sometimes there are issues with firewalls blocking UDP packets or even ICMP packets. So what you can do, instead of running a traceroute, the default traceroute will use UDP probes. You can actually use a command like this. You can say I. So actually, let's try this. So we're going to use sudo with this, because to use ICMP, which is basically what ping uses, we're going to send an ICMP ping. Instead of a UDP packet, we're sending an ICMP packet, and then we'll still be getting back the ICMP packet too. We need root privileges, so we're going to use sudo. So use a capital I for ICMP. And there we go. Same thing, but we're using ICMP instead of UDP. So that could get us around potential firewall issues. Now, if I did this without sudo, it's going to say, hey, you don't have privileges to use this traceroute method. Operation not permitted. Now, with sudo, it's totally fine. So another thing you can do, you can say, I have another save, all right here, traceroute -T for TCP, and P, you can specify the port. You can do port 80, or I can do port 88, whatever port you want to specify. This helps you get around, it looks like a regular web request, and it helps you get around firewalls. So sudo, you're still going to need, if you want to do TCP, you're going to need sudo. So ICMP and TCP, you need sudo or root privileges. For UDP, you don't need root at all. So let's try this out. And there we go. We did the whole thing with TCP SYN packets. So it sends TCP SYN packets for 3 for each hop and gets an ICMP packet back. And that's basically it. Those are the common options you would use with traceroute, the common useful options. There are some others, but there you go. That's basically how the traceroute command works. Remember, check the links in the description for more info. Hit the subscribe button for more useful content like this. We also have a ton of other more interesting content covering things like coding, hardware, software, servers, Raspberry Pis, 3D printing, and a whole lot more. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on that next video.